Hey guys, welcome back to Release the Craftin and another day of a Cabinet of Curiosiprompts. That's hashtag Curiosiprompts, which is a month-long challenge with myself and my good buddy, a friend of the channel, bestie, Amethyst Raven at Amethyst Raven 342. Read the whole name, Priscilla. Amethyst Raven 342. That's Tiff over there at Amethyst Raven 342. Did we get it right? Yes. Okay. So it is a month of creative prompts brought to you by the words. We're using special words to inspire creativity, and surprisingly and not surprisingly, Tiff and I both decided to do the same thing, which was make tags. So we're making tags. Tags. So I've got some watercolor paper here that I'm turning into tags. I chose watercolor paper because it'll hold up to whatever I choose to do to it. I don't know what I'm going to choose to do. But today we have the word alopecoid, which I had to look up how you pronounce, and yes, the P part is essential. Alopecoid, which is fox-like, and it's either an adjective or a noun depending on how you use it. I didn't put both in here. Follow me on this journey. There was only so much space. But yes, it just means fox-like. It's anything that resembles a fox or fox traits. So I thought we would do the most obvious thing, which is go with the colors of the fox. And then I dug around in my stash for fun things. And I have these very delicate, very fine little bits of filigree cut out of, I don't know what the heck this is, some kind of press board MDF thing. But I've had it forever. And I used it just a little bit in a journal in the way long ago and never used it again. I found a whole box of like chunky embellishment type things. That's where I found those, the moon that I used yesterday. I found these in that box and was like, why no use, Priscilla? And now that I am weeding this, I feel like I know the reason why. Because, oh, this is so fussy. It's super fragile, which is probably why. And I think I got this way back in the day. There used to be a company called Flying Unicorn. I don't think they're still in business, but they used to do like a mixed media scrapbook type box that I used to get, which I absolutely loved. Although it kept getting stolen by my post office, so I had to keep getting replacements. I felt so bad. And then it got to the point where we had to like take it up with the postmaster and be like, hey, what the heck? Every time I order this specific thing, it doesn't arrive. All my other packages arrive. Yes, that's nice. I don't understand these free bits here, but it doesn't matter. We don't need to understand. This is what I want. And I guess for the sake of everything, where's my tweezers? I bet they're more useful for this than I am. We'll pop out some of these little pieces and see if they can also be used. But anyway, yeah, the company used to be around. I used to get their box all the time. I loved their box, actually, because that's how I got a lot of my like mixed media stuff, my paste and my mediums and things like that. It was just really great for like building up your stash. And then they had like a bunch of cool paper pads. A lot of it was like the Prima stuff back when like Prima used to be good. It's a little bit of shade towards Prima, but they have now switched to an AI slop version of themselves, and I don't like it. Especially at their prices. I don't like it. So, yeah. That's not the point of this conversation. But, yeah, I think they're no longer around, or if they are, they're no longer in that capacity, because the boxes ended pretty abruptly. And then, I think I had just managed to, like, avoid this scenario, but I remember, and I might be remembering incorrectly, so, like, allegedly, but I remember that there was some issues with like the last boxes going out and people getting stuff that they just didn't like, or like that had no like theme or sort of through line like the other boxes did, or it just seemed like a bunch of like, you know, unhauling of the warehouse, or if they just didn't get their boxes at all. But like by then I had already stopped my box for some sort of reason. I don't remember if it was to try out a different scrapbooking box or something like that. But, do I want to maybe incorporate some of these? I hate that there was only one of those. Right? I just threw it in the trash. But let me just double check thankfully it's just paper trash, so. Yeah, there's just the one. The other one is long gone. So I must have used it in another project somewhere. And like, yeah, I could break these down and use all these pieces for stuff, but the idea is to get this out of my stash, not make new projects for myself. Because, yeah, I was just holding up space in this box that I didn't even know about. So I'm going to finish the story. But essentially, I just don't use it. Like, a bunch of people paid for boxes that they didn't get, and then it was just a big thing on their Facebook page, I remember, from way back in the day. Yeah, that'll work. And so, like, after that I stopped hearing about them and didn't see, like, anything get posted or anything for a while. So I have assumed that they have gone by the wayside and are no longer a business. I'm not going to be super precious about how I glue this. The idea is to just get glue onto this so that it'll stick to the paper. Preferably without tearing it. That would also be very helpful. Eeh. Okay. Ugh. So yeah, they disappeared. But the boxes, the thing that I was going to say was that I really do have that doom box ADHD thing where, like, you put something in a box and you don't remember it exists anymore because it's, like, out of sight, out of mind. Because, yeah, I had a whole box of 3D embellishments that I was like, what? Wow. What? And some stuff I recalled buying where I was like, yeah, no, you definitely bought this. And then immediately forgot it even existed. And, like, in some cases I was actually pretty excited because I still have the paper pad that went with some of these things. So, like, some of the chipboard, like, embellishments that you can get with certain things, I had it, you guys. But, like, I had just never used the paper pad yet. So, like, you know, it probably would have been something had I gone to go use the paper pad. I would have been like, oh, I need to order the little chipboard pieces to go with this so I can do some decorating. I had it. I had a bunch of them in this box. So, like, oh my god. Yeah, the box system is not the system for Priscilla. It's just not. Come on. So yeah, those have to come out of the box. Thankfully I'm still in the process of trying to figure out the best way to reorganize all my craft stuff, so I have some time, but I have lots of boxes like that you know, probably have all sorts of hidden treasures in them that I would never have expected or encountered had I not been like, let me just see what's in this box. Can I just fit this in here? Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. It's there for texture. It's not there for design. And then I see you lifting back here. I see that. Okay. So those are stuck down. And then we're just going to get some gesso and paint everything white. And then because gesso has some grit to it, it'll give everything the same texture. So that when we apply color to the top, it will work. Also, there's no reason to mix it into the Mod Podge. I just didn't want to waste my Mod Podge or fuss with it or have to go rinse out my brush. So there's that. It's just going to make the top extra stickier downer now. Just going to work it into all of these little crevices. But mixed media is actually the reason I use these little Crayola brushes, because they're cheap and inexpensive and you can kind of trash them and really trash them in this way. How come these have holes, but there's no, oh, I guess there are holes. They just got buried. It doesn't matter, Priscilla. Essentially, I just want everything to be the same color and texture so that when we add our fox colors to the top, it'll be cool. I haven't really decided how I want to add the fox colors though. Because I could emulate the shape of a fox face, you know, that little shape, because like the top part of their heads are usually one color most of the time. I mean, okay, so like Robin Hood has really influenced me because the top of a fox head is red and then reddish orange, and then the bottom is white, but that's not necessarily how foxes look everywhere in all their varieties. Sometimes they're just a solid color. So I can play with that motif. The gesso will help stick down the little pieces that are flying up, so I'm not really worried about those. I'm just sort of pressing them flat as I see them come up. And then if anything comes up too much, I'll come back and add some more glue. It's not a big deal. So I could also use the same, like the single color motif as well. That's an option. I could do a single color and then layer in like a darker color to pick up some of the texture, which is kind of tempting now that I've said it out loud. It's okay because I have to wait for the gesso to dry. Just trying to get into the little crevices as much as possible. So it gives me some time to think about how to approach this, although I have already mixed up the color that I want to use by mixing some magenta with some yellow. I use the magenta because the magenta has like a sort of purple base to it, so the yellow makes it a little bit more neutral, but also because the magenta was really vibrant compared to the red color I had. So it's a very vibrant foxy red. Okay, I think we got it, right? Like, that looks sufficiently got. I'm gonna flatten out anything I see sticking up. Fix some of my crazy brush strokes here. And then make another cup of coffee to enjoy this cold weather. It's not cold, it's rainy. I'm just trying to sort of take out some of the extra gesso that I've sort of smooshed into some of these places, while also looking for spots that aren't completely coated. Yeah, that's what we got to start out with. I know it's not the most exciting thing, but it is the foundation of what we got going on. I'm going to dry this, and then we're going to come back. Okay, so now we're totally dry. We're dry. I have my ready reddish orangish color here, and then we're just gonna apply and see what happens, and then go from there, because I could not decide. I did decide against doing the fox motif. I thought that was a little too on the nose. We're just doing the color. Just, you know when you have an impulsive, like, intrusive thought and then you act on it? That's what just happened here. I will eventually have to get all of this color out of the crevices, but for now, I'm having a great time. Sometimes you have to let the intrusive thoughts win, unless they're the dark ones. Don't let those ones win. Not gonna get into that at this moment in time. This is so much more satisfying than it would have been to, like, dip and dip and dip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. Okay, that's all. I'm not gonna get demonetized. Watch I do, because I sang this one line. Because sometimes some of these, like, these music companies, like, get outrageous. There's a couple of, like, movie review channels that I watch, and they are constantly having, like, copyright claims struck against their videos, and it's really funny because it seems to be the ones where they have like a critical review as opposed to like a positive review that are getting copyright stricken, which is like, I don't know if that's like a mandate from the company where they're like, only strike the ones that are talking shit, or if they're just like, somebody in particular is like, I worked really hard on that project, I'm offended that someone didn't like it, and so they're the ones who are like reporting it to get copyright stricken, or if it's just like part of the algorithm, the bot, to look for stuff that is negative in review to sort of quiet those voices. I don't know. It's just, it's funny, but it's also sad, you know, because like movie reviewers are using the fair use part of copyright the way that you were supposed to in order to do those reviews. And to have a company be like, nuh-uh, because we don't want you to make money off of it, or like, we don't want you to make money off of your critical analysis of our project. It's just so petty, and it's so shitty, and then it just makes me go like, really? You know, like, you let movie reviewers review, like, all of the materials and stuff that they're using is stuff that is free. Like, you guys put it out there. They put out press packets and stuff specifically for reviewers to get, like, clips and footage from to use, so, like, they don't get copyright stricken for using stuff that wasn't allowable. But yeah, just, it happens anyways. And sometimes it's automatic, I think, depending on how much a company is paying YouTube to do the searches for them. But you know, it takes money out of the reviewer's pocket, and I don't want to take money out of anybody's pocket. I like when people have pockets full of money, because the alternative is pockets full of sadness. I don't know. I guess that's what's in my pockets. But like, other people might have different things in their pockets when it's not full of money. But like, you know, it just, it's also super discouraging if you're in that like sort of field, because I can hear them when they're talking about it and they're like, hey, so once again this has happened, and you're like, booty. A sea you color at the bottom of this cup. I love this color. It is exactly the color tone I wanted. It's a very brilliant fox reddish color without being like too red or too orange. It's exactly what I want. It's also, it just looks like I rubbed this down in blood, which is also a solution. If you would like to make blood color, use a little bit of purple, a little magenta, or a little bit of blue, because blood has that undertone, although it has more of that in there. Just, you know, the more you know. There is something, it's probably gesso, but I was like, there's something on this paper towel that makes this glass dingier by the minute. So, let's see, can we dry this real quick? Okay, so we're dry, mostly. A little bit, not as much, but enough. And I'm gonna add some visual depth here, and I think I'm gonna do that with some Rusty Hinge. This reinker that's surprisingly tied tight. I'm just gonna sort of do a couple dropsies, maybe one right here, little dropsies, and then we're gonna hit this with some water and see if we can move it around a bit. I don't want it to be like puddles in the recess. I want something in the recess a little bit. It's a nice orangey color on top of this. I like that. Keep it moving. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more to get this little bottom part. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we got the big puddles out, which is good. There's still more puddles to be puddling. Every day I'm puddling. Okay, so a little bit of visual interest. And if you were my book page, you wouldn't even be where you belong. I have, there we go, that book of book pages to mop up some of this color. So, there we go. Again, we must dry. Okay, so we're dried. Using that as my platform. We got some depth of color here, not as deep as I was hoping. So we're going to lane shift into alcohol inks. I have the red and I have the orange. I'm gonna start with the red and see what it does. And then just gonna come through with the orange and get that more on the outside. This is an excessive amount of alcohol ink, but I have a very specific colorway vision in mind that I am intent on making it happen. Where's my little guy? Okay, it's got some yellow on it. It's not gonna hurt. There we go. Much more vibrant, colorful. Down the middle here. And I'm just gonna tamp off a bit here around the edges. And let's see. I have doomed myself to circles. So we'll get it moving with some alcohol. Oh, it's way over here. Let's see if I can't get rid of those circle shapes in the process. I'm not really mad at the circle shapes, but I would like to kill some of that harsh edge. Ooh, okay. It's having an interesting reaction with the paint underneath, which I was underneath the impression was an acrylic base, so learning some new things. Not mad at it. This is just evolving. Rapidly evolving into something entirely different than what we started with. Got my nail right in there. And I did it again. Okay. So, I like that. It's a lot more vibrant like I was hoping. Ugh. Gonna need a good cleaning after this. So, again, we must dry. Okay, so this is so interesting. There were no metallics in the dauber, and these are just plain colored alcohol inks. But as I dried this, like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it has this, like, gold sheen to it, which I am not mad at. In fact, I really, really like. So, before I lean into that, I'm gonna pick out the design with some black, because foxes also have a little black in their design. They have great eyeliner. So I'm just gonna rub this over the raised edges mostly, and not trying to like get full coverage so much as I'm just trying to bring attention to the detail. I'm not even worried about getting it in this background because I'm gonna do the edges anyways. Yeah, like that. I like that. Don't worry, we're gonna come back over with some more stuff here, but now I'm just gonna go around in a very deliberate, trying to get the black to sort of fan out here. But I love this gold. This gold is giving me life. So we're definitely gonna play into that. Do I have it close, or did I put it away is a better question. You know, like when you re-clean stuff and reorganize things so that you can start a new project and then all of a sudden you don't know where anything is because all of your regular schmegular stuff is moved back to where it's supposed to be. But we're gonna say the gold is like just like their eyes. They have those pretty yellow eyes. So I come in with some vintage gold and very lightly go over the top. I'm gonna of course pick up some of that distress ink because I didn't dry it first, but it's fine. It's just gonna blend nicely into there. Oh, loving this. This came out surprisingly more gothic than I thought it was going to. Hit those raised edges. Do a little check, see if we need some more. I feel like I could go a little bit heavier here. Yeah. So what a nice, dark, and mysterious tag. Which, like, again, I could pop a person onto and call it finished, but I actually just kind of like it this way. I don't really think it needs anything in particular. Mess I made of my hands. This is going to be the next 30 days, guys. We're just going to have to come to terms with it. Let's see. I can put it on the shelf. I don't think it's going to make a big difference because the edges black, but I'll know, right? Where's our little clip of words? There they are. I think that's it. I think this is Alopecoid. I think we did it. Let me know what you guys think. It would be really cool to have like a fox die cut to pop on here, but again, that just seems to be too on the nose, on the fox nose. Because it's fox-like, it doesn't have to be a fox. But I do really like this. Like it better if my glue came out of the bottle. There we go. But yeah, I guess that's it. That's the video. Just a fun little like play, mixed media situation of our fox-like tag. It's got fox colors, and I like it. I like how it looks. And I suppose if I wanted to, if I didn't do the idea that I have to put all these together at the end so that they're all part of the cabinet, I could take this and just save it for like a Gothic project, but I like it as it is. And I think it's going on the cabinet. So, well, that's it for today, guys. Come back tomorrow, see what we make for the next Cabinet of Curiosiprompts. That's hashtag Curiosiprompts. Make sure you check out Tiff over at Amethyst Raven 342, see what she's making, and check out the hashtag so you can see what everybody else is making, as per usual. I appreciate your faces, and I will catch you guys all in the next one. Until then, guys, happy crafting. Goodbye.